trained technicians. Braking is all about friction. When you push the brake pedal, pads inside the...
Thank you for calling the company. My name is John. May I know who I'm speaking with?
Hey, how you doing? My name.
Thank you, Mr. Brittany. How can I assist you?
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to get a copy of my certificate of origin for my vehicle.
I see. And what is the year and model of your vehicle?
It is a 2008.
Brittany?
Yes.
I do apologize for the long wait. Now, for the concern, I've checked on our resources for the copy of the from the dealership or through your local DMV.
Okay, now it wasn't okay. Now, for my understanding, okay, why would the DMV have that when it's supposed to be at my possession because I'm the owner of the car? The DMV doesn't own the car. I do.
For that, the dealership are forwarding most of this information to the DMV.
Okay, now the dealership did that without my consent or my knowledge. I never knew that. Okay, they just gave me a certificate of title, which is not the allodial title to the vehicle. It's only the equitable title to the vehicle. So is there an affidavit that you can send me so I can get a replacement?
For this, if this document is not on our end, what we can provide is the compliance letter or letter of compliance.
Okay, now according to the now Ford Motor Company went through a federal case, okay, and out of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit, okay, it was stated by Chief Judge Prost, okay, that all vehicles must have a certificate of origin, okay, for custom purposes. Okay, this vehicle per se that I have right now, I cannot find the certificate of origin, and whoever has it had it destroyed. Okay, so can Ford reproduce that?
Yeah, we cannot produce a certificate of origin.
Why is that?
We can only produce or we can only provide letter of compliance or compliance letter for the vehicle.
Okay, why is it you cannot reproduce a certificate of origin? Chrysler does it. Chrysler does it. GM does it. Why is it that you all are not in compliance with highway safety for one, and the Federal Transportation Administration? Okay, because you all have to produce these manufacturer certificate of origin for your cars. That's the only way you'll know you have the correct ownership of it, and not somebody else.
For this, it has already been provided to the original owner. The copy has, again, but the dealership has provided for the original dealership has this. And
no, see, now that's not. I contacted the original owner. Okay, they had no knowledge of the certificate of origin when they first bought, when the car first got bought. They had no knowledge of it. So now that's hindering me because I can't use a compliance letter to sell my car overseas to an overseas buyer. That's impossible. I have to have the certificate of origin in order to sell the vehicle across the sea.
well, I really do apologize for that, but for this, we really cannot produce the certificate of origin. But a compliance letter would be equivalent to that.
No, I've already tried. You're not. See, that's false information because we've already tried to use the compliance letter, okay, to deregister the car. They cannot deregister the car or sell the car with the title overseas. It has to have the manufacturer's certificate of origin. So now, do I need to file a claim for this with Ford? Since you all won't give me the MCO or the manufacturer's certificate of origin, or even can't even tell me where it went.
Yeah, we do not have that information. The dealership would have that. Again, it's also.
Okay, the dealership does not have that information. That's wrong information again, because we've already tried to go through the dealership, and the dealership does not have that information. So now I have to come back to the manufacturer where the car was produced at to get an understanding of what needs to be done, because I don't want to lose my buyer because of a technicality that the state and Ford has going on, which has nothing to do with me technically, because I didn't know that, there was a certificate of origin until I found out that I had to have it in order to sell my car overseas. So what else can be done? Because the compliance letter won't even let it get out the country. The certificate of title that I have won't let it be sold over the seas. So what am I supposed to do?
Well, let me see what I can look up your product. Okay, please on the line.
Okay, thank you.
Properly. The suspension.
Yeah.
I really do apologize. I've checked all of our resources. We won't be able to reproduce the certificate of origin for this particular vehicle since there has already been one being
Okay.
during the time of manufacture.
Okay, is there a supervisor I can speak to? Because you already have been sued for this. Okay, and this went to the Court of Appeals. And I'm reading the case right now, which came out in 2014, which was appealed in 2014, and the final decision came January 6, 2016, where you all are supposed to supply the certificate of origin. Okay, now Ford has already been sued about this matter. So you mean to tell me that they still? Say it again.
For legal matters, we do have a different department for that. If you
Okay, yeah, send me over there. Send me over there because, this is gonna have to be escalated because it's causing me a hindrance on how I operate in my business, and I can't get paid for my client who wants to buy the car from overseas. Now, and Ford's holding me up because Ford won't reproduce the manufacturer certificate of origin, or they sold it to somebody else without my knowledge. Because when I bought the car, I didn't know about a manufacturer certificate of origin until I had to get into customs and foreign relations when I needed to sell my car overseas. So now that they're telling me that I need the manufacturer certificate of origin, and according to the North American Free Trade Agreement, Ford must provide that. So yeah, I'm gonna have to speak to you.
provided to the original owner of the vehicle.
Okay, so you're telling me I'm not the original owner of the vehicle, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if I'm not the original owner of the vehicle, then the original owner of the vehicle still has ownership of the car. Because I don't have the MSO. I don't have the original title to the car. I have a certificate of title that came from the state, which is not the actual ownership of the vehicle. The actual ownership of the vehicle is that manufacturer certificate of origin.
And that has already been provided by the manufacturer, which is Ford.
Okay, so definitely. So what am I going to have to do? Am I going to have to take legal matters? I have to go through a court case when you all already been found guilty of not producing those things and have to have these things in order for customs to get involved. I don't want that to happen. I'm trying to alleviate that situation and act arbitrarily. But if I have to file a federal lawsuit, I guess that's what I'm going to have to do. Because I got a compliance letter already. I tried to use the compliance letter to sell my car overseas. It didn't work. I tried to use with the certificate of title to the car. They said it does not function as the allodial title to the car. So whoever has that MCO, is there a way I can track that down so I can get it back?
That I do not have information, but originally it would be the.
Well, you told me that it went to the DMV, right?
Okay, so the Ford Motor Company is required to issue manufacturer certificate of origin when the vehicle is produced. Now, this document a U.S. dealer to transfer ownership to a new vehicle to the customer for titling and registration purposes. So with that, provided to the original owner for titling and registration purposes.
Okay, so you mean to tell me another title was created on top of that title for the car?
No, that was used, again, the main purpose for the certificate of origin is for registration and titling, correct? So,
No, that's not correct. No, that's only for commercial vehicles. That is only for commercial vehicles that they have to be titled and registered. Okay, we get too many Supreme Court rulings out here that state that. Okay, so that's not right. That's not valid information. And you might want to check your sources of who's telling you that information, but that's not valid. Okay, that's only for commercial vehicles, not personal vehicles. Okay, that's why the manufacturer gives a title with the car when it's done being produced. And it's called a certificate of origin. That is the birth certificate for the car. Now, whatever that person does with that certificate after it leaves the dealership or the lot, then that's on that person. But if the dealership sold that MSO or gave that MSO over to county officials, then that's a problem.
okay. Oh, yeah.
Because that's a lawful conveyance of property. Excuse me, I'm going to call you right back. So now we have a lawful dilemma here, to where we have a bump in the road. Now you said the legal department. Okay, is there a way you can transfer me over to the legal department?
Oh, I do not have a way to transfer it to a legal department.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Are you serious?
Yes.
You can't be serious. Now that's not right. Okay, no. You know what? I'll just go to the Attorney General's office and I'll file a consumer complaint. Okay, because I have a vehicle that I don't have the original title to. I have a supposed title and I don't have the original title. And I'm the last owner of this car and I deserve to have that title. Because without that title, I can't do what I need to do. And that's a hindrance and for it is hindering me from providing for my personal family and household now. And that's a consumer violation all day. Protections violation. And I know that for a fact. You know, the compliance letter is not going to let the car go overseas. So, is there a supervisor I can speak with?
Well, the supervisor will also be informing the same thing since we're using the same reason.
Okay, I want to hear that from the supervisor, not you. Because you're not the supervisor. Please.
Okay, stay on the line.
Give me your information as well. I need your name as well because I may have to subpoena you to federal court because you told me a lot of wrong information. I don't appreciate that. Sean, I appreciate that, Sean, for you giving me your information, but the information that you have given me thus far has been untruthful. And I don't know who's telling you to say these things, but I deal with cars. I grew up in Detroit. I made cars for a living. Okay, I know all about cars and what the actual ownership of vehicles are. So whoever's telling you to say that, they're in trouble because that's not right. They're having you mislead consumers out.
Again, stay on the line.
Thank you.
Thank you for waiting, Mr.
Yes.
Okay, I do apologize. Try to look for one available. Unfortunately, no one's available to take the call right now. They're also taking calls. What I can do, I can get your phone number and have them call you back. Call back.
Okay, yeah. Out of the country. But before I do that, I have to get a copy.
But we could only give you possibly look and get a copy, but otherwise we cannot give you the original MCO.
Okay, is there a reason why that is?
That has to stay in our records for the what'll happen. Those cannot be handed out.
Okay, now from my understanding down here in Cincinnati, they say that I would be able to deregister my vehicle so I could sell it overseas. Because I reside in Cincinnati right now, in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I just left the title clerk up there. And she gave me the address and the information for you all because that's where the car was originally titled at.
Okay,
So would
yeah,
you
but
be-
no, we cannot hand out an original MCO.
Okay, now, but that was for my car, correct? So why, I'm confused why I couldn't get at least a copy of it because it does belong to me.
Well, see, we would be able to do a copy, but otherwise the original has to stay, regarding the record and so forth.
Okay, well, regarding the record, but from my understanding is, and the original has already been destroyed.
I was going to say, when did you ended up purchasing that?
Well, I bought this car used. Okay, so I didn't.
Okay,
buy
well, then if it was a used, we wouldn't have had an MCO. If it was used, all we would have is actually the title.
Okay, when the car was first built and titled, it was titled through you all. This is the only reason why I'm coming to you all about this matter.
If you're not the original, though, owner of the MCO part, that would be on the back. I can't release that information.
Okay, but see, the thing is that how am I supposed to sell my car overseas without that MSO? I can't, or the MCO, I can't sell my car overseas with the certificate of title because the customs department won't accept it. They told me I needed the certificate of origin and I had to go through the title courts to get it.
No, because otherwise, if with your name not being on that, I cannot release that information.
Okay,
I don't know how else you can get that.
See, because that's a conflict of interest now because that's telling me that I don't own the car. Somebody else owns the car now.
No, because what you would have that shows proof is that title that you have. I mean, that's how the state of Ohio runs everything. So that title, everything else in our system, of course, is not going to be active. The last thing that was titled would actually be yours. That's how that vehicle has been titled. So that's the only thing that would be active.
Okay,
but if the MCO does not have your name on the back, I cannot release that information to you.
Okay, I'm understanding that, but the MCO does not have anybody's information on it. Mm-hmm.
It does on the back, yes, it does.
How is that possible? I'm not understanding.
Because a dealer has to fill out the back of an MCO, and that's how it gets titled to the first individual.
Okay, so then what proof would I have that says that I own the vehicle? Just a certificate of title?
The title that you have shows that you own that vehicle.
Yeah, that only shows that I'm the registered user. It doesn't say I'm the owner of the vehicle.
On the front of the title, it would say owner. The bottom below you shows previous owner on the Ohio title.
Okay, but you have words in front of owner, which makes me think that I don't own the car because it says registered owner. Okay, it doesn't even say I'm the actual owner. It just says registered owner. And
on the front of the Ohio title,
I got the previous owner's name and everything. Okay, but they wasn't aware. They wasn't aware of the MCO.
But if you see, it all depends. Who knows how many times this vehicle may have been sold? But if you would look at the front of the title, it shows owner. On the front of an Ohio title, it shows owner. Then right below that, it says previous owner. That is how the titles read. Unless you're looking at a registration or something, that's where you say registered. But otherwise, on an Ohio title on the front, it shows owner.
Okay, now, but see, I can't use this title to sell my car overseas.
Then, to be honest, sir, I don't know how else to help you because that's all you have. That's proof that you are the owner of that vehicle.
Okay, so now would I have to file a claim or something since I'm being hindered from my business? Because I gotta sell this car overseas. And if I can't get the correct stuff to sell it overseas from the title clerk, is there a way I can file a claim for that?
To be honest, I don't know how, what all you need so forth, but right there just shows proof that you are. That is the title to that vehicle that shows you are the owner.
Yeah, well, this title represents that the state owns the car as of now because that's who it's registered to, the state. So I don't own the car, the state owns the car. This is why I'm trying to go through the deregistering purposes so we can get the car overseas to the, whoever wants to buy it.
So why are you saying that the state owns the car?
Well, because the state is requiring us to put a tag on our car, and we have to pay a tax on our cars and on our license and things of that nature. You know, that means that we don't even own the car outright. We only have the equitable interest in the car, not the allodial interest in the car. The allodial interest in the car is the MCO that you have on file, which I need a copy of so I can sell my car overseas.
But the MCO would not show anything because the MCO is not going to have anything with your name. So how is it going to show proof that you own the
Exactly.
vehicle?
That's my whole point. That's my whole point.
That's why you would not need an MCO because it doesn't show proof that you own that vehicle.
Okay, you try selling that to customs when you're trying to sell a car overseas. I've been through customs already, and this is why I'm here at this point, because I got from customs that I got to get the MCO for the vehicle. If I don't get the MCO for the vehicle, I can't sell my car overseas. And this is how I make my living. That's a hindrance on the behalf of the county now, because the county won't produce this information to me.
Sir, I'm sorry. I don't know where else you can go. I don't know. I mean, if you want to contact the state of Ohio, then that's fine. You can talk to them, see if they can help.
I've already went that route, and this is how I got to you all.
You said you went through Cincinnati.
Of course. I had to go. I just came out of Columbus yesterday. I came out of Columbus yesterday to find out about this car. Okay, I had to wait because I got back late and you all were closed. Okay, I'm here in Cincinnati now, and I just came from the title clerk in Cincinnati that gave me the information where the car originated from. Okay, and where it was first titled to, and it was first titled to you all. So now I have to go back to the originators and deregister the whole vehicle so I can sell it overseas, and they can do whatever they title, whatever they do over there. But I can't do that with a state of Ohio certificate of title. I have to do that with the original manufacturer certificate of origin.
We can't give you the original MCO.
Well, but see that caused a conflict of interest, man, because that's saying that I don't have the original ownership of the car. That means I don't own the car.
I understand that, sir, but I cannot give you MCO information on a vehicle that does not have your name on it.
Okay, then how am I? Okay, so if the
I don't know how you're going to sell your vehicle overseas. I don't know how that all works. I don't handle that. I'm just saying how the state of Ohio, if your name not on the MCO, I cannot hand you that. And plus, it has to
But you can give me a title. But you can give me a title to a vehicle that has my name on it, but I can't get the original because the original does not have my name on it. That does not make sense.
No, it's not associated with you. The title that you have is, if it has your name on it, then that's what you would take because that shows proof that you own that vehicle.
No, it does not. No, it does not. No, it does not.
Then did you not title it?
Because if I had ownership of this vehicle and it was outright mine, it wouldn't need to be registered to the state because the state is not putting the gas in it. They're not doing the maintenance on it. They're not putting in it. They're not covering the insurance. So what interest does the state have in my car if you're saying it's registered to me? That does not make sense to me.
Well, if your name's not on the title, if your name's not on that title, you're not associated with it. I can't give you any information.
Well, my name is on the title, ma'am, on the certificate of title. Okay, but the manufacturer certificate of origin, okay, which has
it's not going to have your name on it.
Which has nobody's name on it, okay? It doesn't have anybody's name on the front of that manufacturer certificate of origin. I have plenty of them, okay, from Chrysler, from the Chrysler dealership, from the Chrysler manufacturer.
Right, it's going to have the dealer's name on it. I understand that, but I cannot give you an original. And plus, I can't give you information just from a copy stuff. If something's not showing in your name, I cannot supply you copies.
You can't supply me a copy of something I got my VIN number on? I got the same VIN number on my title. What do you mean? That doesn't make sense.
You just told me the vehicle was not in your name, the title.
No, I did not. See, you're not listening. I told you the title is in my name. The certificate of title that I got from Ohio is in my name. I have the VIN number on the title in my name, which is the same VIN number that you have on a manufacturer's certificate of origin, that does not have my name on it. So you're telling me that I don't have the ownership of my car because my name is not on the original. So I don't own this car, somebody else does.
You're not the first owner of the vehicle.
Exactly, right. Okay, so now that's hindering me.
What you have is yours. That title
No,
you
it's
have
not.
shows
No, it's
that
not.
you have the ownership. MCO has nothing to do with
Yes, it does.
the
That's
title.
the birth certificate to the car, ma'am. I worked for Ford for over 35 years. You cannot sit up here and tell me that. I understand what a manufacturer's certificate of origin is. Okay?
Yes, I worked at a dealership. I know what they are.
Okay, so that's the ownership of the car. Because you can't sell a car or title a car without it. Come on now.
That is correct. I know.
I understand. Yeah, trust me, I know. I know. I've been a dealer for a very long time. So you mean to tell me that? Okay. Is there a supervisor I can speak to? I appreciate your time.
I mean, if you want to try calling the clerk's office, I'll give you that number.
No, this is not the clerk's office that I was talking to?
This is the title department. We handle all the titles.
Okay, so are you the supervisor of this department?
No, the clerk is ahead of us.
Oh, the clerk is your supervisor. Go ahead and give me the clerk's number then, please.
It's 419
419 238
1022.
1022. And your name was again?
My name's Tanya.
Tanya. Okay, thank you for your time, Tanya.
Bye-bye.
You don't know shit.
Brenda.
Hey, Brenda. Okay, now Tanya just told me to call you back. Okay, because she didn't understand what I needed. She told me that I could not get a copy of my manufacturer's certificate of origin for my vehicle that I own now. Is that correct?
The MCO usually comes from the dealership.
Exactly. And that's the actual ownership of the car until it gets titled.
You'd have to go to the dealership to get your MCO.
Okay, no, they told me I had to come to the title clerk to get my MCO because the car had been registered to Van Wert County.
It was registered to somebody in Van Wert County? Hold on.
Yes, ma'am. I'll give you the VIN.
This is Cindy. Can I help you?
Yeah, hey, Cindy, how are you?
I'm good.
Okay, now I was just talking with Tanya, okay, and she just made me aware that I couldn't get a manufacturer's certificate of origin for my vehicle that I own now. Okay?
Well, you have a title, right?
Yeah, I have a title, but the title I cannot use to sell my car overseas. According to the North American Free Trade Agreement, I have to have the manufacturer's certificate of origin in order to sell my car overseas. Okay, because that's the rightful ownership of the car. So the certificate of title only serves as the equitable interest to the car, not the allodial title to the car. So I would need either a copy of the original manufacturer's certificate of origin, because I got a compliance letter from Ford saying there is one for the car. Okay, but I can't use the compliance letter to sell the car overseas. I would need the manufacturer's certificate of origin in order to do that.
Okay, I've never heard of that, and we have a ton of military people that sell their vehicles and that overseas.
Trust me, yeah.
They use their Ohio title. We have.
Yeah, see, I'm a civilian though. I can't use that they can do that because they're military. Okay, they have DD-214s. I don't have a DD-214. I'm a civilian.
Okay, but we can't give you an MCO if your name's not on the MCO because our records are not public. So
I understand that.
On it, we can't give it to you.
Okay, but you can give me a title. But you can give me a title with the same VIN number on. See, then that's very confusing to me as a consumer.
Well, the title you have is going to have the same VIN number as that MCO. We can't change VIN numbers from MCO to title. We don't have VIN numbers.
Okay, but the title of the car can change. The car can't change, but the paperwork on the car can change, right?
Well, yeah, it goes from an MCO, which means it's just manufactured, then it has to actually be registered in a state to be driven. No
Well, but
state
see, and that's, but see,
somebody
right
has
there,
to.
let me stop you right there, because that's not true, because I just got off the phone with the Attorney General's office, and that's not true. Okay, that's only for commercial vehicles, not private conveyances or private vehicles. It's only for commercial vehicles. Okay? So whoever had this car titled at the time had it titled for commercial purposes, not private, not as private property. Okay? So now that's a huge.
When we title something, it's
That's
either
correct.
either because we don't mark things as commercial, private, whatever, because we don't.
Well, that's what
that's
there's
the license plate marks it commercial on that size of it. We mark it as what the box says. Like, what was it? Is it a semi or is it a trailer or is it a car? What is it?
It's an automobile. Yeah, it's an automobile.
An automobile, from an MCO to the title that we do not change nothing to make it commercial or whatever. We cannot make an automobile commercial.
Well, what's the purpose for the plate and the registration then?
That's for you to drive on the road. I mean, and they're the ones that mark things as being whether it's commercial or whatever. That's your license plate. That has nothing to do with the title.
Right. Now, okay, are you aware there have been several Supreme Court rulings that have stated that we do not have to register our vehicles or have a license to drive our private conveyances? Oh, that's only for commercial purposes. When the state gets an MSO, they turn that private conveyance into a commercial vehicle because that person has to have a driver's license in order to operate that vehicle. Okay? So there's taxes involved in that. There's registration fees involved in that. That's all for commercial purposes. Okay? Now, when I bought this car, I wasn't even aware of the manufacturer's certificate of origin until I tried to sell it overseas. Say again?
Well, I said the certificate of origin doesn't exist anymore once it's titled. That is surrendered and it's not active anymore and it's not any good.
Well, according to Ford, that's not accurate according to Ford, because Ford wouldn't have been able to give me a compliance letter if that's the case.
No, they're giving you a compliance letter. That's a good VIN number, and that's the VIN number of a vehicle that they made. And yes, that is a good VIN
correct,
number.
and that's the only.
Now it is in a title, and that is now what is active. The MCO is not active anymore.
Okay, now, so what you just stated to me is that
you have to surrender something to get something.
Okay, but how can I surrender something when I don't qualify for a driver's license? I don't drive on the road for commercial gain.
Because as a person buying a car, you don't have to technically have a driver's license.
Okay, be careful with that word person. Be careful with that word person, because legally defined, a word person is a corporation. Okay, so that's not applicable in this case. Now, if you're going to resort as a person, I would prefer to call a natural person
I can't argue.
or
I'm not
consumer.
going to argue with you whether you're a commercial or a person or whatever. All I'm telling you is I cannot give you the MCO if your name is not on it, period.
Okay, so now I have to file a claim for that then, because that's hindering me from taking care of personal, family, household business, because this is how I run my business when I sell cars overseas. Okay, this is not my first time selling a car overseas. Okay,
Well,
I know the process that I have to go through. So I have to file a claim for injury and damage now because I'm not trying to argue. I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you what I know, ma'am.
I'm telling you what the state of Ohio is and the law is.
Okay, the
last. It's not on that MCO, correct?
Say it again?
Is your name on that MCO?
My name is on the title.
Okay, it's not on
and
the
with
MCO,
the manufacturer. Yes, it is, because my name is on file with the manufacturer as the owner of the car. So yes.
Okay, so you brought the MCO into my office.
No, the Board of Governors did that. No, the Board of Governors did that. The Board of Governors did that.
I don't know who that is.
Well, that's you probably wouldn't, but the Board of Governors did that when they bought a fleet of cars. They had these cars titled to your department, because this is an old police car. Okay, this is an ex-police vehicle. Okay. When they did that, they surrendered those MSOs, not with my knowledge. I didn't know they had surrendered the MCO, because if I would have had the MCO, you would have never got it. So that didn't have anything to do with that.
You bought the car. Okay, those used to be a police car in Van Wert. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am. Do you want that? Let me give you the VIN number so you can get a clear understanding.
Just let me tell you this.
Okay.
If our police bought a brand new vehicle, the way it works and has always from the beginning of time, they buy the cars from a dealership, which are brand new, and they have an MCO. So then for them to drive them, there has to be an establishment of somebody who owns them. So the Van Wert County now owns them. And so the police drives them. To have ownership, you have to have an Ohio title. To get an Ohio title, you have to surrender the MCO. So that no longer is any good. What is active and what is good is a title.
Okay, so now, but
And
that's hindering me now.
Titles, well, I can't help you. That's the way the law is. That's the
No,
law.
Now when you say that law only applies to commercial vehicles, ma'am. It has nothing to do with private conveyance. If you look under the ORC 45006, it'll tell you that. Okay, a private conveyance is completely different from a commercial motor vehicle and a motor vehicle. A motor vehicle and an automobile is two different things. Yeah, you better go read your laws. Well, that's two different. You just said two different things. A motor vehicle and an automobile is not one and the same. So you're gonna have to file a claim, bro. That's all that is. You file a claim for that MCO. Shit. If you can't get the original title to your car, then you didn't sell the car that you can't own. And that somebody else owns. She just told you the county owns the car. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you live around here?
No, I actually live in North Carolina.
Okay. So you have in your hand an Ohio title?
Yes, I do.
All right. Why don't you fax me up what you have? I'll send it down to Columbus and tell them what you want, and then I'll let you know what they say.
Okay, go ahead. Let me get your fax number, darling. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, because I went to Columbus yesterday, and this is how I got the information about you all titling the car. And they said I have to go back through you in order to deregister the car in order to sell it overseas. Go ahead with your fax number.
What authority do you have to deregister the car to get an MCO?
Say again?
What authority is there for you to deregister the car and get the MCO?
Because the car is not being used for commercial purposes. The only time you're registering a car or titling a car is when you're going to use it for commercial gain and make money on the highway or the road.
Okay,
and that's not what we do.
Why do I have a title for my car and I'm not a commercial person?
Because if you bought it brand new, you was not aware. Okay, you bought it used because somebody else titled the car without your knowledge and gave the MSO over to the county, which gave ownership to the county. You know that for a fact.
No, ownership's not to the county.
Well, okay, then if you don't have that manufacturer certificate of origin, Cindy, then that means you only have the equitable title to the car and not the allodial title to the car. Because the original ownership of the car is the manufacturer certificate of origin. I got 3 federal court judges telling me that. I'm not going to argue that point with you.
That's not the way the state of Ohio works.
Okay, go read private conveyances. Go read private conveyances under the Ohio Revised Code. And you tell me what the difference between a private conveyance and a motor vehicle is.
I'm not an attorney, and I'm not going to read any
of
that stuff.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse, Cindy. Ignorance of the law is no excuse for anyone.
Are you going to talk or not?
Well, you asked me a question, and I was answering your question. You asked me a question, and I was answering your question.
The title office is run by the state of Ohio. We go by their rules.
No, you're not. You're not run by the. No, because listen to me. No, you're not an agency of the state. You're not an agency of the state, darling.
Yes, I am.
Okay, you call the Attorney General's office. You ask him if you're a state agency. You're not. I already got this on record. This has already been founded. The Department of Motor Vehicles, the Bureau of Motor Vehicles, the Department of Transportation are not state agencies. These are private contractors. They're not government.
Driver's license and license.
The driver's license is federal under the Highway Safety Act, darling. That's not even state. That's federal.
Okay, can I finish my sentence now?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
In the state of Ohio, your driver's license and your license plate are a
Okay.
private sector. In the state of Ohio,
No, it's not.
titling
That's commercial.
is ran by the county clerk of courts, which is an
That's-
elected position, and we are authorized under the state of Ohio, which gives us all of their equipment, and it's their database and their ORC code.
Well, you might want to check the revise. You might want to check the revision, because the last time I checked, the Attorney General said that the Department of Bureau of Motor Vehicles is not a state agency, nor is the Department of Transportation, nor is the governor's office.
Bureau of Motor
Okay.
Vehicles is different than the title department, sir.
Say it again.
Two separate. The Department of Motor Vehicles, the Bureau of Motor Vehicles, is your driver's license and license plates. That's not us.
I understand that. Trust me, I understand that. I got an administrative hearing that said they're not private. I mean, they're not government. I got proof that you all are not
Just
government
tell
as
me what
well.
you have. I'll send it to Columbus, but I've
Okay.
been doing titling for years upon years. This is the way it's done.
I understand that. But it's some things that were not fully disclosed to you all.
Titles a year listed that everybody's doing it wrong but you.
Correct.
So
Well,
why don't you
see,
just
the thing
send me
is,
your
no.
stuff and-
No, that's not me saying that. I'm not saying this. These are people that
Just
are
send me
over
your
you
stuff.
saying.
I will send it to Columbus, and then I will call you and tell you what they say.
Okay, what's the fax number?
419
419-238.
4760.
Okay, 4760. 4760. That's the fax number. Okay, now in the purposes, because I feel that I might have to file a claim for this. Okay, now is there an insurance company that you all deal with?
Hey, what?
An insurance company that you all deal with, or
Well,
do I have to go through risk management?
Well, we have a sheriff's department. It's called the Van Wert County Sheriff's Department.
No, not the sheriff's department. That's for criminal. I'm talking about civil. Do you have a risk management
Small
department?
No.
Well, no, because the title of that vehicle.
What,
Yeah, I guess
what
that
kind
would.
of claim? What do you mean you want to file a claim? Like a
Well,
civil
because-
claim or a court order title? I don't know what you mean.
Well,
Because
I'm
I'm in
a
the
guy.
federal court's office, and we have civil cases up here.
Right. See, I would have to file a claim against the county because they sold me a car that I can never own. That I can't lawfully own. Okay, legally and lawfully. No, I can't, because if I own this car outright, I shouldn't have to have a tag on my car or a driver's license to drive it. Henceforth the Supreme Court. Okay, so that's totally wrong in stating that I would need a driver's license to drive my vehicle. No, I don't, because I don't drive my vehicle for commercial gain or purposes. I don't even qualify for a driver's license.
Just fax me the stuff. I'll send it to Columbus, and I'll let you know what they say. Okay?
Okay, Cindy, I appreciate it.
Uh-huh.